Modern cinema is full of elite heist crews and super-powered squads, but the blueprint for this kind of team-up was actually published in 1812. We find it in a Brothers Grimm fairy tale, recently brought back into the spotlight by English author Philip Pullman. The story begins with a soldier who has served his king bravely in a war, but when the peace treaty is signed, the king discards him with almost no reward. The soldier vows to find enough companions to help him take his revenge and make his way in the world. This setup changes the trajectory of the story. Instead of a standard fable about virtue, we are watching the start of a calculated heist driven by a soldier's resentment of the crown. The soldier begins recruiting. His first companion is a man of immense strength, seen casually pulling up entire trees with his bare hands just to clear a path. Next, the soldier finds a marksman for the crew. He is a hunter capable of shooting the left eye out of a fly sitting on an oak tree 2 miles away. Then they meet a man who can control the wind. By pinching one nostril and blowing through the other, he powers 7 windmills miles down the road. They encounter a runner who actually has to unhitch one of his own legs just to slow himself down. With both legs attached, he moves faster than a bird can fly. The final recruit wears his hat tilted over one ear. If he ever puts it on straight, a deep frost falls instantly, causing birds to drop dead out of the air. The soldier has assembled a group with highly specific, overlapping talents. On their own, they are oddities. Together, they form a crew capable of matching the obstacles the king is about to throw at them. The job is a high-stakes royal wager. The king proclaims that anyone who can beat his daughter in a foot race will marry her and inherit the kingdom, but those who lose will be executed. The crew's runner easily takes the lead, but he becomes overconfident. He stops for a nap halfway through the race, using a horse's skull as a pillow, allowing the princess to overtake him while he sleeps. The race is only saved by the marksman. Standing miles away on the castle walls, he watches the scene with his sharp eyes and shoots the horse skull right out from under the runner's head. The runner wakes up with a jolt, sprints back to the spring to refill his jug, and manages to win the race by 10 minutes. This moment highlights the crew's main advantage. While the king's power is solitary, the outcasts succeed because their bizarre skills are dependent on one another. The king refuses to follow through on his promise to a common soldier. Instead of handing over the kingdom, he locks the 6 companions inside a room made of solid iron with barred windows. He orders a massive fire built directly beneath the floorboards, intending to heat the iron until the men inside are roasted alive. The countermeasure is simple. The man with the cap puts his hat on straight. A frost sets in so quickly and so deep that the men eventually complain that their food has frozen to their plates. The king's attempt to use brute force in a locked room backfires. A single specialized skill from one of the men turns a deadly trap into a minor inconvenience. Frustrated, the king tries to buy the soldier off. The soldier agrees to walk away from his claim to the throne for a simple price: as much gold as one of my servants can carry. 2 weeks later, the strong man arrives. He carries a custom-sewn canvas sack the size of a house over his shoulder. The crew proceeds to pack the entire royal treasury into the bag, including the 7,000 wagons and the oxen that were supposed to pull the gold. Seeing the wealth of his kingdom disappearing on the back of one man, the king loses his temper. He sends his elite cavalry to ride out and cut the companions down. The windmaker handles the final threat. He pinches one nostril and blows a gust so powerful it tosses the entire army of horses and riders into the clouds. The heist is a success because the crew followed the rules of the king's wagers. They didn't have to overthrow the kingdom, they just used the king's own greed and arrogance to bankrupt him. This brings us back to a question often asked of this text. Are the men actually justified in taking this fortune for themselves? The story answers this by contrasting the behaviors of the two sides. The king is constantly trying to murder his guests and cheat on his bets, while the commoners win by holding him to his word. The story reflects the clash between a ruler who relies on absolute command and 6 outcasts who succeed because they combine their individual skills. Concluding tone: 6 who made their way in the world remains a satisfying fantasy for the same reason modern heist movies work. It shows what happens when a group of overlooked people unite to outsmart a corrupt system.